His name was read out at Stamford Bridge, and Stamford Bridge answered, not with cheers, not with the roar that used to greet one of Chelsea's most important players, not with the warmth that a player who cost £105 million and scored 16 goals in 27 appearances might expect from his home crowd. Booed, mixed, hostile. The stadium that was supposed to be his home turning on him in real time. And the question that the entire football world is watching right now is not whether Enzo Fernandez is a good footballer. Everyone knows he is a good footballer. The question is whether English football can separate what he does with a ball from what he did without one. Whether Stamford Bridge can separate the midfielder who gave them 16 goal contributions in 27 matches from the man who blew their nation's fans a kiss at a World Cup semi-final 3 weeks ago. Right now, the answer appears to be no. Welcome back to Robert's Football Talk. I am your host, and if you are new here, subscribe right now, because today we are inside the most uncomfortable football story in England right now. Enzo Fernandez, Stamford Bridge, the booing that has started, the anger that has not cooled. And the question that Xabi Alonso, Chelsea's board, and the player himself all need to answer. Can this be fixed? Or is Enzo Fernandez's time in English football already over? Subscribe now. Zero coding. Every word of this is real. Let us go. Part 1. The reception. What happened when he came back? Let me take you inside Stamford Bridge when Fernandez's name was read out in the starting lineup. Sky Sports journalist Callum Bishop reported it directly. A very mixed reception. Not the hero's welcome. Not the polite applause of a crowd willing to set aside what happened and focus on the football. Mixed. Some cheers from supporters who have followed him for 3 years and know what he gives the team every week. And boos. Actual booing. Of their own player. At their own ground. Threads posts from football fans across the platform captured the mood of English football. One thread that went viral read, "I do not know how Enzo Fernandez goes back to Chelsea and is not booed massively every time he touches the ball. This is not going to be a fun time for him." A self-described lifelong Chelsea fan responded, "I can confirm that a good part of our fan base want him gone." And then, the broader football world added their view. Fans from every club, every background, all saying versions of the same thing. He cupped his ears at England fans at a World Cup. He was in the banner photo after beating England. He got himself sent off in the World Cup final and cost Argentina the trophy. And then he posted on Instagram about something bigger than results without saying sorry once. The booing at Stamford Bridge is not a surprise. Goal.com confirmed it directly. The player is certain to get a frosty reception if he returns to Stamford Bridge and plays in the Premier League again. Frosty. That word was published before he even landed back in England, before the first team sheet was read out. The entire football media knew what was coming. And then it came. Now I want to ask you something. You are a Chelsea fan. You have watched Fernandez for 3 years. You know what he gives your team. You know his quality. But you also watched him cup his ears at England fans and hold up a banner about a war where 255 British soldiers died. When his name was read out, what would you have done? Cheered or booed? Drop your honest answer in the comments right now. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk right now. Because the history of Fernandez and hostile crowds makes the Stamford Bridge reception even more significant. Part 2. This is not the first time. The pattern of Fernandez and crowds. Here is what most people covering the Stamford Bridge booing are not connecting properly. This is not the first time Enzo Fernandez has faced serious hostility from a crowd, and how he responded the last time tells you a great deal about what might happen next. Last season, Champions League, Chelsea versus Benfica at Stamford Bridge. Fernandez going to take a corner in front of the Benfica away end. The same Benfica fans who had adored him during his time there, before he signed a new contract with them, thumped his chest after scoring, and then forced a record-breaking exit to Chelsea just weeks later. Those fans never forgave him for it. Objects were thrown at him as he approached the corner. Jeers rained down from the away end. Fernandez at first clapped back at them in what appeared to be a polite gesture, seemingly unaware of the full hostility. And then when the boos intensified, he stopped, looked stunned. And then Mourinho, Chelsea's manager, strode out of his technical area and marched toward the away end. Hands raised, urging the Benfica supporters to calm down. The special one physically intervening to protect his own player from a hostile crowd. Mourinho called him the classy one after the match. The classy one at Chelsea, facing objects being thrown at him from his former club's fans, being protected by his manager. And now Mourinho is gone, and the hostile crowd is not just Benfica fans in the away end. It is the entire English football ecosystem. Home fans at Stamford Bridge, away fans at every Premier League ground he visits this season. Every crowd that watched him cup his ears in Atlanta, every fan who saw the banner, every England supporter who watched the red card in the final and saw the finger wag afterward. Who is going to march out of the technical area and protect him from that? Part 3. The booing that is bigger than Chelsea. Here is what makes the Stamford Bridge reception significant beyond just Chelsea. It is a signal of what the entire Premier League season holds for Fernandez. Every away ground, every Premier League stadium outside of London and outside of Argentina's community in England. Every match where the away fans include significant numbers of England supporters who bought tickets specifically to be in the ground when Chelsea come to town this season. Watford away, Everton away, Newcastle away, Tottenham away, Arsenal away, Manchester United away, Manchester City away. Every single ground across England where opposing fans will have been waiting since July 19th, since the ear cup, since the banner, since the finger wag, since the Instagram post that never said sorry. This is not a one-match story. This is a full season story. And the pressure of carrying this into every stadium in England for 9 months, while also being unable to leave because Real Madrid walked away and no other club has matched Chelsea's £120 million valuation, is the situation Enzo Fernandez woke up to this week. And here is the human element that every person in England who has been furious at him needs to sit with for a moment. Because Robert's football talk tells the full truth, not just the comfortable version. He is 25 years old, he grew up in Argentina, he played his football in a culture where the Falklands are called Las Malvinas, and the emotion around that conflict runs through football and national identity in ways that are difficult for people outside that culture to fully understand. He is not the first Argentine footballer to hold that banner, and he will not be the last. He celebrated the biggest goal of his career in the way that came naturally to him in that moment. None of that makes what he did right. The banner was wrong, the ear cup was provocative, the Instagram post without an apology was tone deaf. These are real criticisms that have real weight. But the booing of a 25-year-old player at his own home ground for weeks and months to come, the hostile reception in every stadium in England, the social media posts saying he should be refused service in every bar and restaurant until he leaves, that is also a real thing happening to a real person. Whether he handles it with the maturity his situation demands is the question that defines his season. Now I want to ask you something. Is the booing from Chelsea fans a justified reaction to what happened, or has English football crossed a line from legitimate anger into something that needs to stop? Tell me in the comments. I want both sides of this. Part 4. Transfer limbo. The prison he cannot escape. Here is the situation that makes the booing even more complicated. Fernandez cannot leave. He made his desire to leave clear. The YouTube interview in March where he said he would like to live in Spain and would like to live in Madrid. Chelsea suspended him for 2 matches immediately. His agent Javier Pastore called it completely unfair and said Fernandez did not understand the decision. He did not understand the decision about a punishment for publicly undermining his own club while under contract. Real Madrid was the escape route. Chelsea wanted £120 million. For a while, that number did not scare Madrid off. And then, the World Cup happened. The red card. The tunnel confrontation. The headlines calling him Argentina's World Cup villain. Real Madrid issued a statement confirming they would not pursue a move. Goal.com confirmed the reality directly. Fernandez finds himself in limbo. Whatever happens next is very much down to him. His dream move has evaporated in the same 93 minutes that turned him into English football's most controversial player. Manchester City had informal and early-stage talks, according to journalist Ben Jacobs. But Chelsea's valuation of £120 million has deterred every potential buyer. A player whose market value has been complicated by the controversies, the racism investigation, the Instagram posts, the World Cup red card, the finger wag, all sitting in the file any serious buyer reads before completing a transfer. Xabi Alonso has said publicly he wants to keep him. Chelsea need him. He has been involved in 16 goals in 27 appearances. That output does not walk out the door and get replaced easily, regardless of how complicated the situation around the player has become. So Fernandez stays. He trains at Cobham. He plays at Stamford Bridge. He travels to every away ground in England. And he carries the weight of everything that happened in July into every single match of this Premier League season. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk right now and share this video. Because the final part is the most important thing this story tells us. Part 5. What happens now? The only way through. Let me give you the honest truth about what Enzo Fernandez needs to do and whether he is capable of doing it. He needs to apologize. Directly. Not an Instagram post about something bigger than results. Not a statement from his agent calling punishments completely unfair. A direct public acknowledgement that the ear cup toward England fans was wrong. That celebrating in front of the families of 255 soldiers whose deaths are directly connected to the banner his teammates held up was wrong. That the World Cup final red card cost his country and his teammates, and he is sorry for it. That apology has not come. It has been 3 weeks since the final. He has had time to consider it, discuss it with advisors, draft it, and publish it. He has chosen not to. Whether that changes when the booing becomes louder, when the away fixtures start, when the pressure of an entire season in this environment becomes real, is something only Fernandez can decide. The precedent from his career is not encouraging. The racist chant video in 2024. He apologized only after Wesley Fofana published it and the backlash spread. The Copa America celebration video. Same pattern. Apology after pressure, not before. His pattern is to act first and address it only when forced. The sarcastic applause at the referee. The finger wag. The Instagram post. All of them fitting the same template. Chelsea are protecting him publicly in the only way they can. Alonso says he wants to keep him. No further official statements have been made. They deleted his celebration post. They have gone quiet and hoped the noise fades. But the noise is not fading. The Stamford Bridge booing happened. The Threads posts are still live. Goal.com published the limbo analysis. The YouTube channels covering this story in Spanish are producing their own breakdowns. The story is everywhere, and it is not going away. Fernandez will play his way through it, or he will not. He will produce the performances that make Chelsea fans remember why they wanted him in the first place, or he will not. He will find the words that begin to close the wound, or he will continue to hope that the football makes the conversation unnecessary. Whether English football gives him the space to try is its own question. Whether the booing stays within the bounds of football reaction or becomes something more personal and more sustained is a question that English clubs, English fans, and English football's governing bodies need to answer too. He is 25 years old. He made serious mistakes. He has not apologized properly. He is stuck at a club he wants to leave. He is playing in a country that watched him mock them on the biggest stage in football. That is the situation. There is no easy version of the next 9 months for Enzo Fernandez. That is the full breakdown. The Stamford Bridge reception confirmed. The booing that started. The history of Fernandez and hostile crowds. The transfer limbo he cannot escape. And the only path through that nobody has seen him take yet. 3 questions. Drop all 3 in the comments right now. First, has Fernandez done enough since the World Cup to deserve a fair reception from Chelsea fans? Or has he earned the booing through his silence and his Instagram post? Second, if Fernandez goes to every away ground in England this season and gets hostile receptions everywhere, does Xabi Alonso need to sell him in January for his own good and the good of the team? Third, if Fernandez directly and publicly apologizes to England fans, the families connected to the Falklands, and to Chelsea supporters for the red card specifically, does that change how you feel about him playing in the Premier League? Drop everything below. I read every single one. This conversation matters, and I want every perspective. This has been Robert's Football Talk. Hit that like button, share this with every Chelsea fan and every England fan you know. Subscribe if you are not already here. New videos every single week. I will see you in the next one.